evening and welcome back to your Tuesday night iRacing action here live on Race Stars TV. We're joined for round 7 of the 2023 Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup live from Spa-Francorchamps. My name's Chris Mitchell. Joining me in commentary tonight, the illustrious as ever, Dave Roberts. Welcome back, Dave. Dave's trying to talk to me.
No, I'm coming. I'm just
Here
still getting set. Oh, I'm a bit late to the grid tonight. There we go.
That's all right. We've got plenty of time to join you in, mate. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good.
We're getting primed and ready for a big night of F4 action. It's a mighty big circuit for these kinds of cars. It should allow for some pretty hard and fast drafting kind of racing. We're going to be expecting some long trains down that Kemmel Straight, Dave.
Yeah, it'll be certainly pack racing tonight, which is good because we've got about 20 starters, 21 starters, I think it is, with the grid sort of dropped a little bit late in the season here, and disappointing to see a lot of people actually just not following on with their agreement to race for the series, but that happens. But there's plenty of action, and probably the field's probably more quality than it was before.
It certainly is. There's been some pretty big names coming and going through this series, but one thing that's been pretty consistent throughout the last 6 rounds we've had is Damon Woods, and how quick he has been. He's completed a single perfect event, which was capped off by being the fastest qualifier, taking the sprint race win and then the feature race win. 100 points that went to him back in the first round of this championship. But the likes of Kalen Chin came into the series after missing the first round, has been red hot with him, and I'm looking very excited to see what kind of racing we can see from these two tonight.
Yeah, Damon Woods, I never heard of him, have you? He must be new.
Just that new kid that comes in and absolutely spanks everyone. Well, when you look at it actually right now.
The new kid that comes in absolutely spanks everybody. I thought you were talking about Oscar Piastri, mate.
Well, yeah, so how good was he over the weekend? That was incredible to watch. I really didn't want to stay up that late on the West Coast. I mean, for you, it'd be all right because it would be early morning. I had to tape it and get up. It was like 3:30 in the morning. I just forget it. Man. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but a fantastic result. As we wrap up qualifying here from Spa-Francorchamps, Kalen Chin taking the pole, 2:19.879 from Damon Woods, 0.3 back in second. That's a big margin here in qualifying, and quite sizable for the F4 car. Jack Mara, the Scuderia DSR Snackachangi entry back up on the second row of the grid alongside Caleb Hydes on P4. Benjamin Roberts from P5 alongside Ewan Baker, the Flying Scotsman / Kiwi, on the third row. Rob Bowden on P7 with Harry Lawrence on the 8th spot. Then Alex Court and Nick Bottrell rounding out your first 5 rows of the starting grid.
Yeah, who else have we got out there that's sort of out of position? Maybe a little bit. Brady Shepherd, Jack Humphreys. Anthony Marzocca had a good run last week. Bailey Evans a long way down there. Bailey's a lot quicker than that.
Tom Catadonus there, Dave. That's a long way down there for where you would expect Tom to be. I mean, he's 7th in the championship coming in tonight.
2.7 seconds off the pole. That's just something weird. Anyway, must have got a few off tracks or something. That is pretty often the case around here.
It is. It's one of those circuits very dependent on the front end of the car and very easy to record an off track that invalidates the lap during qualifying as we get set for a 15-minute sprint race for the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup live tonight on Race Stars TV. The revs are up on the main straight. They're going to be set to make the charge down towards La Source for the first time, and it's a mighty pinch point that could see everyone bunching right up on a pretty crucial start to a race, as we do expect a fair bit of pack racing tonight here from Spa.
You want to bring a green light?
Yeah, eventually we'll get there, I'm sure. It's coming soon. Trigger it anytime you want there, Dave. There we go. Now as we finally go green flag racing here from Spa for round 7 of the FIA F4 Esports Cup. Thanks to Motorsport Australia, a good start there from Kalen Chin. He's going to lead the field out of La Source for the first time. Damon Woods tucking in right behind him, and immediately they're trying to put a gap on Jack Mara. Look at Damon. He's going hard left on the racetrack, trying to break any toe to people behind him, and tempting anyone to try and follow him through. It's just going to pick up the toe again coming out of Arouge and Radion as they hit the Kemmel Straight for the first time. This long, snarling train of F4 cars down the long Kemmel Straight, heading up into Lacombe for the first time.
There's Damon making that move on the outside, so he's got the run out of Arouge and got past. Oh, what, 3 abreast? That looks like is Perez out there somewhere. No, they didn't end up in the fence. It's obviously not Perez. Yeah, got the run there and has now taken over the lead, but he's not going to go anywhere. I mean, Kalen is going to be all over the back of him for this whole race, so it's a case of your turn, my turn, who wants to lead? Just stay in that lead pack and try and be in the right place for the last lap.
It's almost like NASCAR and trying to just be there towards the end to make a run in the dying moments. And of course, this is the sprint race, 15 minutes. There's points up for grabs, 30 points for the winner.
Wide.
Up for grabs here before we set the grid from the finishing results of the sprint. That will set the starting grid for the feature. The feature's 45 minutes, is it, Dave, with a pit stop from Spa. That's going to make quite a long race here for round 7.
That was Will Ryan running very, very wide at Pujon there.
That's unfortunate for Will there. A very fast corner with a very big runoff area, so hopefully he's been good enough to keep it pointed the right direction and rejoin the back of the bus. And if he can stay in touch, he might still get lucky here tonight, as we can see the toe in full effect. Woods leads and Callum Chin probably at about 3/4 throttle, staying in touch behind him right now.
Yeah, and the hot dog's got the sauce on tonight. He's right on the back of Callum Chin now, and that makes a good pack of, I think, 6 for the lead now.
Classic pack racing in tow here is Rob Bowden, the Tank SRT entry up to P9. He's down 2 spots actually from where he started from qualifying P7 a little bit earlier in the night. He's got some work to do here, and there's a bit of move going on behind him here. Alex Court and Paul Rogers getting after it there. Rogers moving up to P10, was it? We just lost him off the timing totem, so he has gone up to P10, making that move as now Damien Woods getting a small break on Callum Chin with a very solid run out of the chicane and La Source, but we'll watch Chin. If he stays within a few tenths, he's going to claw that all the way back. This time he's going to drag Mara with him. And Caleb Hyde, good measure. There goes Caleb to the inside on the Kemmel Straight and goes flying on past, and Damien Woods is not going to contest that. And this is going to be a little taste of what we're going to see over the next 11 minutes 45 seconds. Just this endless swapping around, but they're just also at the same time trying to be a little bit cautious not to touch and end their races here in the sprint, because it can make for a very painful feature coming up later.
I think you'll find that Kalen, Damon and Caleb Hyde are all on the same Discord channel and chatting. So Jack Mara's the odd one out there. He's all by his lonesome. So come on, Jack, take it to him, baby.
He'll be the first one to get the message, or he'll be the last one to get the message if there's anything going on between those three, as Mara tucking into P3 here. Benny Roberts and Ewan Baker going toe-to-toe as they make their way down towards turn 13 at Campus. The very quick right then left before they make the run down towards Stavalo and wrap around the long straight that heads through Blanchimont on the way back towards the chicane and the pit structure. Some more battles going on further in the remaining placings. Damien Cairns picking up a spot there from Brody Tressiter, as Bailey Evans dropping a wheel off on the exit of Stavalo. That's going to hurt his run, and watch how quickly he's going to get swallowed up by Damien Cairns, and Tressiter's going to look to try and go around the outside of him.
Oh, well, look at it. It's another 3 abreast. Where's Perez when you need him?
That's getting a little bit tight through the very fast section. That's Blanchimont there.
I don't blame Damien there from taking that very wide line and keeping out of trouble.
He did a good job to hold on to it, as well as he had to bring it back on the racetrack. He actually succeeded in grabbing the position as well. Now Brody
some strange lines there at the chicane. Some very, very wide and late entries, and
well, it looks like they're all about just maximising the exit speed here. As look at this, Harry Lawrence in the Delta Sport entry Position 80, what's happened here? We're watching this down into La Source.
I thought he was coming out of the pits. I think he must have had a spin then.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yep. There it goes.
That looks like, oh, and everybody avoided him. How good was that?
Good job from the guys trying to dodge him as well. Quite easy with such a low downforce combination on these cars. They're trying to make them as slippery as possible for those long straights. It is, even with the horsepower levels that these cars carry, which, to be fair, isn't much in the world of open wheel racing. Still very easy to light the tyres up, as there's another one off up at Lacombe. That's the NLR entry. Is that Aiden Coote going down the order, is it? No, it's the 55 car. Oh, Brody Shepherd losing ground.
Bit and barge there. Rubbin's racing, boys.
Let's watch that one again now. This is Shepherd trying to defend from the 44 of Alex Court, and they just get into each other, and Shepherd bottoms it out on the outside curving, coming out of Brussels at turn 10, and does a solid job of recovering.
The iRacing collision models are a lot better these days than it used to be, where you can actually have a little touch like that and the car doesn't go flying off into the scenery. It's a lot better these days. It makes for much better racing.
It's a lot better at not falling apart when you have a little touch like that as well. As check this out. Good bit of racing going on at the front here. Damon Woods just holding that inside line is forcing Kalen to try and go all the way around the outside in the fastest part of the racetrack.
They're just having fun.
I'm sure they're having some pretty big smiles. A mile wide as
Kalen up the inside. The lead. Knows you've only got it on rent for a little while till the next bit of straight.
Yeah, you certainly can't purchase the lead, can't own it tonight here from Spa. Just have to stay in touch and be there at the end, Dave. That's what it's going to be all about.
Absolutely.
And the feature coming up later tonight. This is the second week of a Euro doubleheader. I missed last week's round from Hockenheim.
Yeah, I see Ewan Baker's got himself up into that league group now in fifth place and hard on the back. Oh, actually, he's gone past me. No, he's hard on the back of Caleb Hydes there. So Ewan Baker making a good run here this evening. He's already got himself past Ben Roberts, and that's in the blue with the big silver fern on it, so we know where he comes from. Well, sort of. Scotland.
Look at this, Jack Murrah now buying his way into the fight. He's actually gone around the outside at the first part of Lacombe, but hasn't got the job done. No, Kalen's going to tuck in behind him. Now he's going to be under threat from Caleb Hydes, who's just stalking on his right rear as they head down towards turn 10. And Mara shuts the door on that one and holds on to P3 for now, but he was looking pretty racy again. He's going to try and stick the nose in there and have a crack here. This is some good battling from Jack Mara. See how much of the eggs that they're using there at turn 11. They are maximising what they have.
Benny Roberts has picked off Ewan Baker there for fifth place, so he's moved himself back up into this pack. Oh, a bit of an incident. That's two or three.
Yeah, bit of action going on further down in the field as well, as Damien Cairns caught up in that one with Brody Tressiter. And I'm sure there was another car caught in the incident at the same time. So the Accelerate Sim Racing injury for Damien Cairns. You can see how far left hand down he was after the incident. So what's happened? A little bit of a... Oh, there's a bit of a move. Now, was that Damien moving left or was that Brody moving
96, right? Car number 96, which is Brody Tressiter, sort of moved left, clobbered the back of the other car.
Actually.
Yeah, have a look here.
They're both racing in the...
that was a turn into him.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward incident there. And those two boys, Brody Tressiter and the 21 of Jack Humphreys, coming a cropper. Unfortunately, Damien Cairns got caught in that incident, and he's going to go into pit lane to try and cop a repair here in the sprint. As Tom Katsadonis making some short work through the field. He's actually been on a charge. He might not have qualified too well. We did talk about it when we were going through our grid preview, Dave, that he was way down the order from where we expected him to be. He's up 10 spots into position number 9 and just picking his way through with the simrigs.com DPR entry.
It's obviously had more pace than it showed in qualifying. Gee, they're getting a bit close there. Take a wing off if you're not careful, boys. This is... what do you do here? What do you do? 3 wide on the outside. You're not going to get anywhere there, but you've sort of... Not much you can do.
Yeah, good job there from Harry Lawrence. He tempted fate on the outside heading into Lacombs. And just tucked back in behind these two. Katsunonis leading from Bottrell. And then we see an incident under investigation that we saw moments ago between Brody Tressida and Jack Humphreys. It's not a big surprise that will go under investigation by the FRG stewarding team hiding out in the stewards room tonight. Where would you put that one on, Dave?
Ooh, I think it's... I think that was car number 96, making a left turn into the other car, into 21. That didn't... It actually looked a bit odd to me.
It did look fairly odd as we watch this battle continuing between Harry Lawrence and Nick Bottrell. Then it's Bailey Evans leading this group at the moment. Or just behind Bottrell, actually, ahead of Marzoka and Alex Court. Again, very wide coming off of Stavolo there. Evans is struggling to get the car to rotate through that downhill high-speed section of Stavolo, which is pretty common with these cars. It's a very, very pushy part of the racetrack. As we see here, Caitlin Chen firing up the inside at chicane. Gives plenty of room to Damon Woods. Caleb Hydes wants to get involved in the fight now. They're going to go side by side down the main straight here towards La Source. And I reckon Caleb might be fancying a run at this tonight. We've seen those flashes of brilliance from young Caleb.
Yeah, and I see Ewan Baker's taking that place back off Benny Roberts again. And Benny's just sitting that sort of car or two off the back. He just seems to be just lacking that little bit of edge of pace. Not very much.
Look at this, side by side through Illusion Radion. And Woods is going to get the advantage, but Hydes is going to get the run. So he's going to have to try and park the car in the right spot here. Look at this. And they're pinching Jack Marra off. Oh, jeez, Jack. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's
what's
four
that?
wide. 4 wide, almost 5. Ewan Baker to the inside of Lacombe. Oh, and straight through the grass.
Oh, no, Baker's off the road.
Oh, geez, Ewan almost gave it all away. He's luckily parked it on the racetrack. That's bottled up Caitlin Chin now, and it's allowed Damon Woods and Jack Marra to go through. Chin on the inside just has a little peekaboo down there as Benny Roberts on the outside.
They've got a good little break here.
Slipping up. They have built themselves a bit of a buffer, but it's 8/10 of a second. What's the toe distance in this car? We'd be talking about 7/10. So they're not completely out of the woods yet. Check this out again. Did we make it 5 wide? 4 wide down Camel Straight with a 5th car in the mix for good fun. And Ewan Baker just pinched it off on the entry and went straight through the grass. Good piece of driving from Damon Woods to dodge that too. And he managed to just go, you know what, I'll let you have the lead for about 3 seconds and I'll reclaim it coming out of Lacombe.
And that hot dog's looking hungry tonight. That was a nice little bit of opportunistic improvement there from Jack Marra. Very, very well done. And Jack's right up on the back of Damon Woods. Come on, Jack. Take it to him, baby.
Look at this. We're on board with Benny Roberts just sitting there in the toe of Caleb Hydes. He can't do anything with the car right now because Ewan Baker is parked exactly where he wants to be and where he wants to slip through. So you can see he's just rolled out of the power a little bit, and he's just going to watch this happen right now, heading down into the chicane. Caitlin Chin trying to figure out where he needs to park the car to defend as Caleb Hydes tries to slip up the inside of Ewan Baker. They still go too wide and they touch on the exit. Whoa, Baker hanging Hydes right out, and Benny sticks his nose on the outside heading into La Source. There's 45 seconds to go, and we're on the final lap of racing.
And Caitlin Chin's made a little jump here. Oh, Ewan got a bit short, sharp chop across the nose there. But Damon Woods has got that little break. But come on, Jack, you can do it, mate. You get the run up here, up the hill. I want to see this hot dog out in front.
Oh, we are on the final lap here. Watch the gap come down. 3.5 of a second. It's going to come down 3/10 of a second. Mara's coming. He's closing. It's down to 2/10 of a second. He's going to run out of straightaway though.
Parked on the right-hand side of the road. He just hasn't got the straight line speed to really take it to Damon there. Damon must be running absolutely zero wing on that. Looks like he's got a little bit more straight line speed than Jack. But that's some pretty good racing. And So we've got Kalen Chin sitting in the middle of no man's land there between the two groups, and Ewan Baker's dropped back there, back to sixth. He won't be happy with that after being one lap ago in that coming into Lake Coombe. He was in the lead.
Yeah, how quickly you can get shafted with this draft race. Oh, Benny Roberts found trouble. We just cut away from that battle as well. Benny Roberts finding trouble on the exit of turn 10 there.
Gonna replay.
So what's happened here? He's closed right up onto the back of Caleb Hydes. He tried to diamond off the corner and he's looped it. Oh, Benny, he's looped the car. Luckily hasn't fired it into the fence, but it's going to hurt his finishing position here as the leader's coming out of campus and down towards Stavilo for the final time. The gap, 3.8 tenths of a second. Is it one last ditch here from Jack?
Come on, hot dog. I'd just like to see someone new win. No offence, Damon. Damon's an awesome and a lovely guy and does a really good job. But, yeah, variety is the spice of life.
And it absolutely is as they make their way out of Blanchimont through this final left-hander, 1.5 tenths of a second. It's going to be a big dive from Jack Marrow to make it happen.
Nice.
And he's got it right on there, Aaron. But he's had to go to the outside. And, oh no, Woods has beached it. Woods ran it too deep at the chicane. And Jack Marrow pickpockets the win right at the end.
You little cracker.
How about that for Jack
You little
Marrow?
cracker jacker.
Pickpockets the win right at the final corner in the sprint. That is brilliant work from Jack. Damon just outbraked himself down at the chicane and comes home second.
Not often you see Damon make a mistake like that, but that was just super pressure from Jack here down the outside. He's pushed him right down there, down the inside, and he's just run that little bit wide. Beautifully hung on to, but Jack would be grinning from ear to ear.
Mate, it was a brilliant recovery from Damon Woods as well to pull the car up right there and without even a split second of thinking about it, he just got straight back into the fight and tried to get on with it to see if he could still get to the line first. But Jack Marrow comes out victorious in the sprint race tonight. What a race that was. Jack Marrow taking the win. Damon Woods across the line in second with a winning margin of just under 3 tenths of a second across the line on the main straight. That's just the sprint race, Dave. Can't wait for this next one. 45 minutes coming up very soon here as Kalen Chin grabbing third with the fastest lap of the race as well at 2:20 across the line there for Kalen. There's your final results, and you can see Jack Marrow, Scuderia DSR Snackachangi. Do you reckon he knows where the green room is, Dave? Oh, just say that. He pops into that green room.
He's a New Zealander. He must know where Australia is.
He must know.
Here he is.
We'll welcome in Jack Marrow. Congratulations. What a race, mate.
Yeah, good, mate. That was awesome. Sweat and bullets, but that was the most fun I've had in years.
That was awesome. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that was an awesome finish, Jack. Beautiful. Pushed Damon hard down in there, and the rare mistake of Damon Woods, and you pickpocketed the win beautifully.
Look, mate, in the bus stop you can kind of make the move work either way. So I know we're just going to break deep, and he broke 2 deep. Good to see. Yeah, stoked with that.
Yeah, we are too. It's great to see a win shared around the field a little bit. Damon's been a fantastic runner all season and really has been class of the field, but you're showing he's beatable, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, it's beatable when he tows you around the track for 8 laps. So that's pretty handy. Nice. We're a real slippery hot dog today, so that's good.
It was a bit difficult with the 5 cars there because you're in that tow. The guy in front's getting the tow, and it's hard to get past. And at one stage you're 5 abreast going up Camel. Very, very hard, good racecraft to get yourself into position and sort of hold that position so that you're in the right place come the last lap or so, yeah?
Yeah, mate, I've been running lots of Daytona and Talladega in the old NASCARs, and that has kind of really helped with this kind of racing, learning to pick your run, place your car, put your car in the right spots, and get a good run out of it.
Yeah, well done, Jack. Take it to him again for the main. Gonna do it again? Make it a double?
Absolutely, mate. I might struggle towing them around down the Kimmel on the first lap, but we'll see what happens. We'll keep it entertaining for you.
Oh, mate, we wish you the best of luck with that one. It's going to be some pretty exciting racing to watch. Yes, Luke Pinenberg also just chiming in on the comment section. Word on the street, Mara had extra brave mustard for dinner tonight. Is there any truth to the rumours, mate?
Yeah, look, she was a stiff mustard. Stiff mustard and a slippery hot dog. Good combination rounds, but
Wow, we'll keep that one in the back pocket for later on. We'll watch it all happen again. Best of luck from pole position for the feature race. Jack Mara, your sprint race winner.
cheers, team.
Oh, Dave, if that's anything to go by, we're going to have a pretty exciting 45 minutes on our hands.
I'd say 45 minutes of more.
Yeah, and then some. It's going to be
More
fantastic.
of the same.
45 minutes of stiff, what was it? No, stiff mustard and slippery hot dogs. Don't know how many more times we can get away with that before we get a warning.
It's just to stay in that pack, stay in position, try and get yourself into that P2 for the last lap, really. That's what you've got to try and do. Yeah, P1 or P2 on that last lap. P3 is probably not going to do it.
No, very much so. It's going to be interesting to watch. I didn't get a chance to look at the results before they disappeared off our live timing to see where Tom Katsadonis got to. There we go. Tom Katsadonis from the back of the pack. He got up to P8. That puts him within reaching distance, don't you think, Dave? For what you can do if you're in the pack early on, he can be there.
Absolutely. So I think...
Go on.
I'm not sure how they're going to go in this one. If we don't get a break in the pack, you could see 8 to 10 cars in that lead pack in this one, because everyone's going to be taking it a little bit easier because they know it's a lot longer, so it's not so desperate to try and get to the front. Everyone feels they've got time on their side.
Keep in mind as well, we do have the fuel stop to navigate our way through, and that's going to play crucial, because you think if you pit out of sequence to everyone else, and if we go green the whole time, you can be costing yourself a significant amount of time of not getting towed around the racetrack. Now, that can be a massive difference, up to several seconds at the end of your pit cycle. So if you pit and you choose that wrong time to dive into pit lane, that can become very painful in a long race like this.
But then again, if you have pitted and there's a safety car, you're going to have track position, you're going to be at the front of the pack.
That's right, and then you'd be the guy telling everyone else around the circuit at the head of the snake. There's no real guaranteed way to win a race like this, and that's why we love it so much. It can really throw some awesome set of circumstances in front of us for the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup, driven by FRG Esports, of course, live on Race Stars TV tonight as we run into the back end of the warm-up. Run and done. It is time to set the grid for the feature race. So looking at it, starting from the pole, Scuderia DSR Snackachangi. It's a stiff mustard and a slippery hot dog. Jack Mara starting on pole, alongside the Dua Esports entry of Damon Woods on the outside front row. Kalen Chen, the Wave Italy entry, starting out of position number 3 with Caleb Hydes on the second row of the grid. Ewan Baker and Rob Bowden starting from row number 3. Paul Rogers and Tom Katsadonis, who made his way from the back to somewhere in the midfield in the sprint race. He'll be one to watch from row number 4. And Harry Lawrence joining Benjamin Roberts on the 5th row of the grid. Nick Bottrell and Anthony Marzoka starting out of row number 6. As we'll cycle through real quick and go a little bit further down the order. Alex Corton, Bailey Evans, Caleb Dawson, Will Ryan, Shepard and Cairns, Tressida, Humphreys, and Aiden Coote, the last of your 21 starters as we get set for 45 minutes of chaos from Spa. Primed and waiting on the grid, Dave. This is high anticipation.
Ooh,
who's going to get the run down? That was a very quick start. And Jack Mara getting a brilliant start from the front row is going to lead the field down to La Source for the first time. Damon Woods getting it done from the outside front row will tuck in behind him. And Jack choosing to go hard to the right. Damon splitting to the left-hand side as they make their run down out of La Source. Caleb Chin just choosing a little bit of the extra one. I'll go straight down the middle, and Caleb Hydes trying to follow him through as they hit Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time.
They just don't like it following in each other's footsteps, do they?
Certainly.
Here we go.
Said about that
Three abreast. Kalen Chin going to pop into that middle. Yep, there he comes.
And he's not quite going to get there, but Damon's going to hold that outside line. And Jack gets it done on the defensive line for Jack Mara.
I think that someone told him there's an Australian residency up for grabs.
He's racing hard for that one. He defended brilliantly into Lacombe, and he holds on to the lead as they come into turn 11 before they make the run down the hill towards Pujon. We just saw moments ago Harry Lawrence was off the track at Lacombe, but it looks like he's rejoined the race with no damage to the vehicle, which is always good news to be had there for Harry, who rejoins down in position number 20. Still plenty of time for him to try drive his way back through the field. Let's look at this. The top three already trying to build a gap. About 0.6 of a second further behind is Caleb Hydes, who's towing Ewan Baker along with him.
And Rob Bowden.
And Bowden as well. Bowden is not someone I would like to be towing along with me. He is a feisty race car driver. As we watch this further down in the order, Damien Cairns, along with Humphreys and Lawrence, is it? Humphreys and Tressler it is.
Katsadonis has popped himself up into P7, and Benny Roberts has come from 10th to 8th. So they've both picked up 1 or 2 spots to get themselves onto the back of that front queue. And they'll work together because they're both in the same team.
Well, it's always good having someone helping you out in the race here, as there's a under investigation between Paul Rogers and Harry Lawrence on lap 1. That was for an incident at Lacombe on the opening lap that saw Harry off the racetrack and rejoining at the tail end of the field. Is look at that, Ewan Baker is going side by side with Caleb Hydes on the exit of the chicane. They're fighting it out for P5 there, and Hydes is going to get his nose in front. Here comes Rob Bowden up the inside of Baker.
Inside.
Back into that shot. Let's watch that again. What happened here? This is going down the Kemmel Straight. We're watching Paul Rogers in the orange and Harry Lawrence in the 80 car.
Oh, yes. A little bit of a touch there.
Now, Rogers just looked like he drove straight through his left rear. Lawrence got the Netco rear wing that magically reattached itself, so he got lucky there and got the chance to rejoin the field. But, yeah, that was a big moment under brakes into Lacombe.
Interesting the way the rear wing reappeared.
Yeah, a bit of that damage model we were so heavily praising a little bit earlier on, and that collision model that we were raving about during the sprint race. There's Jack Mara.
Interesting that Jack's been able to hang on to that lead all the way up Camel there. So, he obviously has a little bit of pace on his side. So there's Bowden hot on the tail here of Ewan Baker.
And then we see 10-second penalty being handed out to Paul Rogers for causing that incident. It's not really a big surprise there for Paul. He's going to cop that at the end of this race.
10 seconds will take him right to the back because the last car's only 8.9 seconds off the lead.
That is pack racing through and through, isn't it, Dave?
Yep.
Is coming through campus now on the way down towards Stavelo. Either Mara has really good pace, or Damon Woods and Kalen Chin have both figured out that if they just sit behind him and let Mara dictate the pace that this race will be run at, they don't need to do the hard yards to try and bring it out.
Save some fuel.
Exactly, they could definitely save fuel and push that pit window just a little bit longer in this 45-minute race.
Or, as well as that, take on a little less fuel and make a quicker pit stop as well. Look at this pack.
How's this? Watching on board with Damien Cairns in the bottom right of your screen. Just had to use a bit of the exit rumble strip through Blanchimont to find a piece of real estate to work in as Paul Rogers goes
down the outside.
Up.
A little bit of rub and tug there too. And another wing's gone.
Oh, yeah. Will Ryan, I think that is, with trouble there. Is that Will Ryan? Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's got the low downforce model there now.
Very low downforce. So he had trouble coming off the chicane, and he's going to get absolutely...
We got another... Oh, no, it hasn't reappeared. Not another rear wing and reappeared. You're going to be awfully quick up here.
Ryan's got all of his appendages, so I wonder whose car it came off.
There it is, the 96. He's got the low downforce model.
Very low downforce. Look at him working the wheel.
Whoa, that's the low downforce model.
Yep, and that's unfortunate for Brody Tressida. He's going to find himself into the barriers at Radion and Eau Rouge, which this just gets a little bit of a swap run in the middle. Yep. He goes, I've got it. Oh, wait, no, I don't got it.
It was such a soft touch. I don't think he knew that he'd lost a rear wing.
And then wham!
A broken suspension there.
Yep. Yeah. And a very bruised ego after that one. Trying to go through Radion Rouge, flat chat. Sands a rear win is never a fun time, even in a Formula 4 car.
Right, so this front pack's still at it, solid. And again, you know, taking out the car, the last car in Tressida is in the pits. You've got 12 seconds covering 19 cars.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how close that was between Ewan Baker and Caleb Hydes? The camera cuts for Ewan Baker, and we're seeing inside the vehicle of Caleb Hydes as they got very close for comfort, heading down towards Stavolo. Baker is hot on his heels. Watch for the run to come here as they make their way into Blanchimont. Very fast section of the racetrack. It's curved, but you can use the toe, especially in a low downforce configuration car. And Hydes covers off the inside line, forces Ewan to try and go around the outside and kind of negates a little bit of the toe, as here's Caitlin Chin using the toe. Or Jack Mara's going to try and go around the outside. Baker defending as well. He gets the job done on Caleb Hydes, and Mara goes around the outside to try and defend the lead, but immediately Caitlin is back on the inside, heading down into La Source. And that'll see Caitlin slip through at the hairpin. We've got a new race leader. Caitlin Chin now leads the way for Wave Italy here at round 7 of the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup. From Mara back there in second, Woods in third, Ewan Baker and Caleb Hydes hot on their heels in positions 4 and 5. We're going to see a big freight train coming down the Camel Straight this time.
Yep, they're all looking for the camel toe there, Chris.
The camel toe, I see what you did there. Oh, look at this. You got two drivers choosing drivers right. And now Ewan just picking a bit of clean air to try and poke the nose up the inside of Mara. Jack's got a brilliant long run pace car right now. Even especially on a heavy fuel load, it looks fantastic in these conditions. Grabs the lead once again. Caitlin Chin back to second. Damon Woods is just looking very patient at the moment, just tucking in. Just waiting for his opportunity. He doesn't need to move now. He's got 36 and a half minutes of racing left to go. Benny Roberts needs to move away from the wall, though. That's a good save.
Sorry, Luke's having a laugh in the background.
Oh, yeah, Luke, our producer from Red Stars TV, having a bit of a giggle at Camel Toe. Good job. Good job, Dave.
Had to be done.
There's a big save there from Benny Roberts, who's now on the back foot, kind of on the outside looking in. He's still got his teammate Tom Castadonis with him, but he's now behind his teammate as they're watching. Oh, there we go, Caleb Hydes spins it.
Ooh. Watch the rejoin. Wow, spins it twice.
Wow.
Ah, that was really messy rejoin.
Very average. He was very anxious to try and rejoin the race in a big old hurry, and he spun it back around. This is down into Stavolo. Just over-rotates the car. Around she goes. Bowden did a good job to avoid him. But then gassing it up to rejoin. Watch this from Marzoka. Quick thinking from Anthony Marzoka to avoid him. And at least Caleb did the right thing and jagged it in to half a race and backed it up out of the way off the racing line and stayed clear of any carnage.
Look at this pack at the front. They're getting tighter and tighter. And Ewan Baker's just sitting there in fourth. It's like the shadow.
He's doing a pretty bang-up good job right now, Ewan.
So now the four of them have got that little jump away from Benny Roberts and Katsadonis, who are working hard together to try and close down this gap, but feel like the gap's gone.
Yeah, Rob Bowden tanking on with those guys as well. The gap's gone for now, but keep in mind, there's always a possibility of seeing a safety car here at Spa, as well as the pit stop that's required for these guys to see the cars through to the end. Here is Mara again around the outside up at Lacombe.
He's really good under brakes there.
He is really good, but I get the feeling these guys are just not necessarily fighting it as much as they need to, or as much as they could, because they don't need to. They don't need to fight at this point of the race. They're just building and letting the race run its course for the moment before they all get really angsty towards the end.
If they start fighting, Roberts and Katsadonis will be all over them in a second.
100%. Anthony Marzoka there in 13th position, holding a bit of a battle with Harry Lawrence. I do love Harry's paint scheme on that car. It's a great livery on Harry's painting machine. Oh, the front end on it, the artwork on the nose cone, and up the main body in front of the driver, in front of the halo. It's a fantastic looking race car. Bit of that carbon effect as well. It's a good looking car from Delta Sport for Harry Lawrence. He's holding 17th in the championship so far, 80 points to his name. A best scoring of 28 points back in round 4 of this series. Is quite a fair way off the leaders. Damon Woods holding 509 points, championship lead coming into this round from Kalen Chin on 366. That is a massive advantage for Damon Woods in this championship with, 4 rounds to go coming into tonight's activities. Check this out again. Down into the chicane. Kalen Chin grabs the lead. Gets on the loud pedal, and Damon Woods trying to go side by side, toe to toe now with Jack Mara.
Kalen's getting away because they're fighting.
Yeah, they've got to be very careful about this, about how much they continue trying to battle for position and slowing each other up, because otherwise they're going to watch that Wave Italy car just drive off into the afternoon sunshine. We're not even cross 1/3 race distance yet. Look at that gap. It's out to 7/10 of a second between Chin and Mara, first and second. Mara is having to watch his mirrors very closely because they're full of Damon Woods and Ewan Baker, who are going to start assaulting up towards Lacombe. And it's going to be Mara losing out a spot there. Woods now up into second, and they're going to close the gap. They brought it down by about 2/10 of a second from Kalen Chin, your leader. Baker's playing a very patient game here, just waiting back there in P4. Doesn't need to fight too hard. As long as he stays in that group and clear of the guys behind, there'll be a chance once we shake things out after the pit stops.
Damon Cairns and Caleb Dawson here have been side by side for about 4 corners, so nice bit of driving by both of them.
Yeah, good bit of racing from these guys. You can see Dawson just sporting a wee bit of front wing damage. You can see the front left,
just a little bit, yep.
Side of that front wing just turned up, just curled up ever so slightly.
Yep.
And Damien's doing a great job holding onto this though. A bit of RSW graphics action for Damien Cairns on board. It's a pretty good looking race car as well for all the sponsors as well. From Exhilarate Sim Racing, loves to run the onboard cam for us to give us a bit of a show on Tuesday nights here on Race Stars TV. At least he's running the right wheel now too, Dave. He's finally got himself into an open wheel.
Still got a gear stick on the wrong side.
Oh yeah, he does. He's still got it on the supercar side. Needs to put it down lower and on the right hand side for a bit of right hand sequential gear shifting action.
It is good. He's got the little Formula wheel instead of the great big NASCAR one he had before.
Yeah, that's the same wheel I'm actually looking at buying for my new rig build once my fiance and I get into our new home. So I'm sure I'm going to feel out what it's like and have some fun with it. As look, Damien now has a run on the back of Dawson heading up into La Source. He's going to choose the outside of the racetrack. That's not going to be the preferred line, but it might just allow him to tuck in behind and attack later on the Kemmel Straight. Exactly what's going on here is Damon Woods attacking on Kalen Chin. Or is he? Because he pulls right out to the left-hand side and he's going to try and just go alongside and outbrake him.
Yep, he's got it done.
It's a good move there from Woods as Katsadonis now up to P5, up 3 more spots from where he started here in the feature. Yeah, he's right now picking in the middle between the 2 Simrigs cars.
Yeah, Simrig sandwich, isn't he?
He right is. There's a meet in the middle too as he gets a little bit loose through the middle of turn number 10. But I'm very impressed with Katsadonis. He's got a brilliant race car underneath him for this longer run as well. He made up, 10, 11 spots in the sprint race. Now up 3 more spots in the feature as we're 1/3 of the way through the feature race here for round 7 of the FIA F4 Esports Cup. Check on your fastest laps there. It's Caleb Hyde's the fastest man on the racetrack, all the way down in 18th position, 2:21.0. These guys were doing 2:20s in the sprint, so that tells you the pace difference we have on what is a probably a warming racetrack, but also with this heavier fuel load, limited to 50% capacity for the iRacing rule sets being put in place by the FRG team. Of course, with an open setup, they can choose to start with less fuel than that 50% tank capacity, but they will have to stop earlier in the race if that's the case, and they'll have to pick a time to stop at some point throughout this 45-minute feature race. We don't expect that to come for quite some time yet, and I'm going to expect it to see it in the last 15 minutes. We'll get that pit stop sequence out of the way, and then we'll be home free to race it out in the last few moments of the feature race, as Damon Woods got the job done last time by there, Dave, and he's holding a pretty healthy gap considering.
I'm a little concerned that Damon and Kalen are going to make a little bit of a run of it here and get away from Jack. I'm hoping that's not the case, because I really want Jack and Ewan to be involved in this. It's a lot more fun with 4.
It sure is a lot more fun with 4, but keep in mind that pit stop can still shake things up, I'm sure, especially if we do end up with an incident that would bring us to a safety car, which we haven't had yet tonight. Of course, safety car driver waiting in the steward's room to be required. Lockie Capel, I'm sure, would love to make his outing onto the track with the Aston Martin FRG safety car, as Kalen Chin fires up the inside into Lacombe, grabs the lead once again here. Woods just settling back into second. Check this out from Damien Cairns' perspective. He's going to have a big old crack here. He's having a dip down Kemmel Straight.
He's got the camel toe, and he's using it. And he hasn't got the straight line speed. He can pick up the toe and hang right in behind there, but he just can't make the move. He hasn't got the straight line speed, so he must be running a little more wing than the other guys. There's a bit of a shocker. Thanks, Damien. He must be running a toe. That's not looking pretty in front.
That's a bit dicey.
That was a bit shove it down the inside and get my elbows out. But it was good bit of driving by both of them.
Yeah, good robust piece of driving to keep it together. We'll see the replay of that one. Yep. Watch this as Ryan on the outside and the 8 car of Caleb Dawson just slips through. There was barely any room to park a car there.
A little bit of a touchy touch in the middle, and away we go. That's just like the real thing. That is just like the real thing.
That was 3 tags through the middle of the corner, and gets
a very gentle little rubby, nudgy, sort of. We're getting a bit friendly, weren't they?
Yeah, that's the kind of racing we prefer in this. We don't like the old heavy-handed style, as Damon Woods gets very close to the rear end of Kalen Chin.
Get a bucket of cold water for him, would you?
Yeah, Jack Marron's now going to get in that fight as well. So he's seeing a bit of that action out front and thinking, I want a piece of this pie. I want to get the slippery hot dog involved. As he tries to close the gap right up. Ewan Baker in the back of that group as well. Just watching, he is playing a very patient game, is Ewan Baker. I'm going to tip him to be one to watch in the closing stages here, as this secondary group of cars still fighting it out. Katsudonis, Roberts, and now Rob Bowden, no longer the meat in the middle of the sandwich. He's at the tail end of that group, back there in position 7.
Yeah, 2 pieces of bread with the meat at the back. Unfortunately, those guys are sitting there. They are watching these 4 cars in front. All they want to do is get involved, and it's just out of reach. It's just like constantly out of reach for them. So it'd be very, very frustrating for those guys.
Yeah, Damon Woods.
Now Damon takes over the running.
He gets the go, as he set a new fast lap of the race last time by as well. 2:20.4 for Damon Woods, 6/10 clear. So that's how powerful the toe is. 6/10 of a second faster than the best lap of Kalen Chin. But very, very quick time. Chin actually ran a quicker lap time last time across, but it must have been an off track, because it hasn't registered as the fastest lap of the race. It was a 2:20.3, so it must have been just using a couple of those off track points.
He was pretty wide out of no name last time round from memory, so we might have gotten off track there.
Just that 4-wheel off track detection device just pinging off and immediately invalidates the lap time. There you can see the gap between and how it's ebbed and flowed over the last few laps between Woods and Chin, your 2 leaders. And through this part of the lap, these 2 are actually really good. Mara just falling off the back of them, and Baker sitting back there in P4.
It's a run out of Puhon. They're very quick out of Puhon, and down through whatever that next right left is. I always forget what it's called.
Down at campus at the at the chicane there, the fast right hand, before they make their way down towards Stubb.
They're very, very quick down through there, and it seems to all start with the extremely quick out of Pujon.
Yeah, it seems to be that they've got something special going on there, these two, as they head down towards the chicane. We're about to cross over half race distance. Still a long way left to go in this feature race, Dave.
Yep, they haven't even been for a pit stop yet. So these three guys behind are not out of it at all. Pit stops can make a lot of difference. So wait and see. It'll be interesting when we get to pit time. It should be around about, I reckon, about the next 5 minutes. So next couple of laps, I would think.
I think they might come rather soon here. Is Brady Shepherd flashing on past will capture a few of the field as they make their way down into La Source. Will Ryan, the 111 car, holding 13th from Damien Cairns, and then
first one's in the pits.
Yeah, there's one in the pits. Who's that? That's Paul Rogers making his way down the pit lane, taking his stop as his teammate Caleb Dawson goes flying on by the 75 Sim Sports entry.
And Kalen Chen's taken over the lead again, and still they're sitting the same. And Jack Merritt's just that car and a half back off Damon Woods, and not a bad place to be. Just stay in that tow, though.
That's all you have to do at this point in time, and that's why I don't think we've really seen the true potential of the likes of Chin and Woods yet. Mara might have gone pretty hard pretty early, but these two have just sat there and picked their moments wisely. We might see a fair bit more pace to come from them later in the race.
Watch out of Pujon here, because they're very, very quick in and out of Pujon. And so as they run out here, they seem to see that just pull that little extra car length there on Jack Mara through Pujon.
Yeah, now I didn't get to see the full run of the way through the corner. It'd be interesting if Luke wants to stay with him next time by. But I sense there's a bit of a different racing line going on there between what these two are doing and what the likes of Mara and Ewan Baker are pulling off through Pujon. It looks like they're probably pushing it a little bit deeper into the corner and then pinching off the exit and trying to get that longer run in a straight line to try and maximize the exit speed down towards the chicane at campus. So it'd be cool if we can stay with that next time by, and we'll see what's really going on between these two. As we get the shot looking back, you can just see the wheel tracks flashing up there of Damon Woods right on the rear gearbox of Kalen Chin as they come out of the chicane and onto the main straightaway. We're across halfway, 21.5 minutes left to go. Kalen Chin leads the way from Damon Woods over Jack Mara and Ewan Baker. That's your lead pack of cars right now.
So now we'll see again this run down through Eau Rouge, which is flat in these cars. Don't even think about lifting. It's just flat all the way. Cold tyres, hot tyres, doesn't matter. It's flat. Just drive it flat. See how Damon's got that run through there. Got a beautiful run through the first part of that. But now he's almost too close.
Yeah, it was definitely way too close.
Mara's there, but he's not really close enough to be able to threaten. He's just out of reach of the toe there.
Well, look at how much Damon Woods bottomed the car out on the curbing there through Lacombe. From about here on in, if we could, I'd love to be on board with Jack Mara and watch the difference in racing lines.
Here we go.
That these guys handle through these.
Almost like someone was listening to you, Chris.
Yeah, almost exactly like Luke is just listening into commentary as they come out of that no-name left-hander. They maximise the exit run. Now, this is where you think, Dave, that they've been pulling off something a bit different here. Now, see how much Jack closed up under brakes and how much wider he runs through the middle. Look at where Kalen Chin is. He's not even using anywhere near as much racetrack, and he gets a much better exit and just pulls out that extra half a car.
Put through here as well, although Jack's pulled in a little bit there. A little bit, and then this next stab lot here, they're very, very quick out of here. So they're using all the road and a bit more. Yes, just pulled that extra car length, haven't they, Chris?
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about the way those cars are creating mechanical grip at the moment and how they can actually rotate off the rear of the car. You watch the car turn through the middle of the corner, especially there at Pujon a moment ago, and whereas Mara was maximising the usage of the road, he's driving a much further distance to go around the same corner at the same speed. He's going to lose out on time, but the tow is keeping him in this battle right now, and all that work that Chin and Woods are doing almost
Right through
amounts
the
to
slow.
more.
So Jack was quick through the chicane there. He certainly pulled up a bit of time in that chicane, and I think he seems to be very, very good under brakes. But the other guys just seem to have a touch more in the top end. Anyway, we'll see. Very
Well, didn't
interesting. But 225
like-
into the pits, Nick Bottrell.
Yeah, he comes in for his stop. It didn't look like Mara was really losing anything on the straights either, so he can't be running much more downforce than these two. He had a pretty quick car down that long camel straight. We'll see that now as he sits about 0.3 of a second behind Kalen Chin. Ewan Baker another 0.4 of a second further behind. All four of these guys are going to bunch right up here. First to arrive on the scene will be Woods, but Chin pulls out to the inside. And Kalen Chin is now going to go slipping on by, or almost runs it out of room at Lacombe. But he does grab the race lead. Oh, Woods is getting pretty racy through that right-hander and tucks in behind him as they head down towards turn number 10.
Slowing each other up a little bit there, but that, you know, they've still got the pace, but they're getting, that was just getting a bit awkward and a bit, you know, difficult where they're having to lift to sort of stay behind. So, interesting.
It's a bit of an interesting one to watch. We see the difference in racing lines. They all use that curbing there, but then on the way out, and it actually looked like Jack Mara might have learned a thing or two there, because he followed a pretty similar line to what those guys were doing through Pujon and didn't look like he lost as much time. So maybe he's just trying to adapt to what the lead guys are putting down at the moment with their racing lines and seeing if he can use that to his advantage to try and stay with them. If he's a little bit closer coming onto these longer straights, he can maybe maximise the tow a little bit more and exploit it to get on past as they come up towards Blanchimont. 17 minutes to go. We're coming up to those pit stops, Dave.
We've got to be coming up to the pit stop soon, haven't we? These guys have got to be heading to that pit lane shortly.
And it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be the first to dive. Let's look how close Damon Woods gets in that long run out of Blanchimont as they head up towards the chicane.
No, all carrying on again. Jack's in.
No, Jack Mara went
Jack's
in.
Mara's in the pit lane. And this is probably good doing it by himself without anybody else around. Get in there, get out, get some nice clean fast laps in, see how they go. And the Roberts and Katsadonis are in behind him as well. Or Roberts and Bowden are in.
Yeah, it was Roberts and Bowden. Katsadonis the only one of that group to keep on trucking. So we're left with our three out front then. Chin, Woods and Ewan Baker.
And Baker's lost his toe because Jack's gone into the pits. Ewan Baker's now out of that toe distance and he's dropping back. So that's a bit awkward for Ewan. He was using Jack to keep him in touch with the pack.
He certainly was, and that's going to probably be a big loss there for Ewan if he can't close up to these guys and stay in the hunt. He's going to start to lose some ground. Unless he's got the pure outright pace to stay with them and just maintain that gap, stay within about 1.5 seconds. But if he hasn't got the toe to help pull him along the straights, it's going to be a bit of a painful couple of laps here for Ewan Baker. As look at the move around that Kalen Chin had through the middle of turn 10. The car just wiggling its way around the corner.
Oh, that's wide too. They're certainly getting it a bit loose in places, aren't they?
Yeah, well and truly, especially they must be running an ultra low downforce configuration with these cars to maximise the straight line speed. It would be no surprise. I mean, with the F3, there's almost minimal difference between an LDF and an MDF configuration on these cars, but the low downforce is a lot more fun to race with on the straights and kind of makes life a lot harder for everyone else around you. But with these cars in the F4 ranks, you would almost guarantee they'd be running next to no wing on front or rear to try and make them as slippery as possible for the long straights, and they just rely on sheer mechanical grip from those massive tyres to keep them stuck to the racetrack. As Kalen Chin trying to get himself stuck to the rear gearbox of Damon Woods. Look how close he gets through Blanchimont. And they make the way up to the chicane.
I'm just checking incident points on them all. And Damon Wood's currently running with 6 incidents.
Leaders are in, Dave.
Damon's got 6 incident points. And Kalen Chin has got... Where is he? Can't find him. Only 3 incident points, so that he's very good. Oh, that's a backwards running
Yeah, that was who was that going flying?
Simric's car. I don't know who that was.
It was one of the Simric's cars. Was it Benny Roberts, perhaps?
I don't
one of
think
those
so.
cars going backwards. But now everyone coming into pit, and the guys who pitted a lap previous are going to get the
I
lucky
think it
break.
may have been Bailey Evans. No, is it?
Yeah,
221?
it was
Yeah,
Bailey
Bailey
Evans. Yeah. And watch this. So what happened
Little
here?
touch. Yep.
Yep.
Oh.
Tag, you're it for Bailey Evans. He was making some great inroads on the field as well. He was up the field and starting to make a charge. He was up 9 spots, of course, a little bit out of sequence with the pit stops. And a bit of quick thinking there from Jack Mara. Saw him dodge that one and be able to get through. Now, as a result of that, that is a massive difference there. So your leaders came into the pit lane and they've managed to absolutely leap over the top of Jack Mara, who's fallen down the order to P4 now, and is half a second off the back of Ewan Baker. So how did they achieve that? By going through pit lane, taking their stop, and then still managing to get away with it.
And not that, but Damon Woods has pulled 1.8 seconds on Kalen Chin. So that's a big gain in the pit stop.
It must have been through the fueling times. So the next thing Luke's going to do is he's going to scramble and find the button to bring us the pit stop times, and we might be able to make some sense of why the race looks like this now as Woods leads by 1.7 seconds back to Kalen Chin, who's another second clear of Ewan Baker. There you can see it was only 4.4 for Woods, 4.5 for Chin. This is the stationary time they spent in the pit lane.
4.9.
Yeah, 4.6 for Roberts, 5.5 for Katsadonis. That is a painful affair. So there must have been an extra bit of time in their pit lane transit time, as we see a 5-second penalty for Alec Court. He was the offending driver in the incident with Bailey Evans on the way down towards the chicane. So he's going to cop that. And there we see the pit lane transit time, 30.2 for Woods and 31.5 for Chin. So there's already 1.3 seconds. 31.3 for Jack Mara, 30.9 for Ewan Baker. So that tells the story right there, how much quicker that those guys were through the pit lane and how much Chin gave away on the pit lane transit time. Even Luke getting onto it, pointed the time out as well. He's got the big arrow out.
Boy, Damon Woods and Benny Roberts were super quick through that pit lane.
They must have been at maximum.
As was Harry Lawrence, 30.8. That's pretty good from Harry as well.
Yeah, that's very stout on his pit transit time. So lots of time to be made and lost in the pit stops, and that can be the straw that breaks the camel's back in a race like this, where it's so dependent
The
on,
camel's back, isn't it?
It's straw that the camel's back now. I heard. Or Bailey Evans in strife once again. There's something about Bailey wherever he goes. He's kind of to follow him.
He's certainly getting touched up around the rear there. That's twice he's got a little tag in the back as he turned in.
As Katsunonis goes side by side here with Rob Bowden down the Camel straight. Tom slips on through. Bowden gives up the position there and just slots back in behind for P7. These guys in a fight of their own now. There was a short period in time they were looking pretty racy as Evans finds himself in P9. He's still made some good inroads on the field here. He's still up 5 spots from where he started for Bailey, but he's buried right in the middle of that racing pack. As,
everyone's got a little pack to race in, so they're all having fun.
And that's what it's all about on your Tuesday night sim racing on Race Stars TV. Oh, that's a bit dicey. They managed to all survive down at turn 10 as they go through the left-hander at No Name. And Jack Humphreys buried right in the middle of that pack there. Damien Cairns is just trying to pick where he needs to place the race car right now. There's just the front of him as well. Who's that? There's Paul Rogers. And it is Paul Rogers just looking ultra racy all over the gearbox of Will Ryan. And almost tagged him. He did tag him on the way down to campus. That's some pretty aggressive racing there.
Very, very tough. You shove it in and make
it happen. Stick the nose in and make the move stick. There is Katsadonis and Bowden still having a discussion about 6th and 7th on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Tom's teammate, Benny Roberts, is escaping up the road. And nicking off down to try and join the party with Jack Mara, who's another 4.5 seconds up the road from where Benny Roberts sits. So he finds himself in a bit of a no man's land situation, does Benny Roberts. Trying to close a massive margin in front and a fairly hefty margin behind as well.
He's the only one who hasn't got a packed race in, isn't he? So, well, Benny's, you can see the guys in front, but he's not going to catch them in a hurry. Bailey Evans, unfortunately, got a iRacing black flag for damage or something or other after a pit stop, so he's had to jump back into the lane to get that fixed, which has taken him completely out of the race, unfortunately. Damien Cairns again.
Yeah, he's having a good crack at it here in P17 now, so he's found his way past one of the cars he was racing in that pack with and moved himself
Three
up
abreast
the
again.
Here. Some action going on to stay in the top 10. Brady Shepherd fighting it out with Nick Bottrill, Anthony Marzocca, Alex Court, all in the mix as well as they come through Lacombe.
Using a lot of curb.
You would feel sorry for the odd one out in a situation like this. The one driver that's just singing Celine Dion's All By Myself in a bit of a no man's land situation.
All
Much
by
like Damon Woods.
myself.
There we go. I knew I could go you into singing it. As Woods, look at the gap he's put on these guys. Not only has he managed to jump them in the pit lane, but finally shows his true pace on the racetrack and pulls out with 7.5 minutes to go. He's got almost 3 seconds over Kalen Chin, who's being hunted, mind you, by both Ewan Baker and Jack Mara. Both tucking in there trying to fight him out.
Jack hasn't been able to get on the back of Ewan Baker. He's just off the back. He just can't quite get. He can't quite get his hot dog in the baker's roll.
Yeah, not quite yet.
He's trying to just can't quite close that little gap down. You can see back there, it's about 3 or 4 car lengths just outside of the toe, and if he gets into that distance of the toe, he'll be right on the back of him in a second. So he's trying really, really hard.
His personal best lap of the race that time by did Jack Mara, 2:20.7. Trying to chase Ewan Baker, who also put down a personal best of the race, a 2:20.5. Chin last done by 2:20.7. He also fastest lap of the race at a 2:20.3. Woods last lap 2:20.7. So they're all lapping super close together, but somehow Damon Woods just manages to pull out these massive margins. You almost don't even see him do it. It's like a Houdini trick. He goes, oh, here, look, I'm only half a tenth faster. Boom, 3 seconds to gap as we watch an incident here down at the chicane. And what was this? This is Will Ryan. Oh, bit of a tag moment. And, loops him. Loops himself on the chicane. And has to rejoin down the main straight there. But you look at those lap times, and there's nothing between them, Dave.
No, here we go, 3 abreast again. Everybody's trying the 3 abreast thing. It's getting a bit old hat, isn't it?
Oh, it's the way to get it done down the Camel Straight. Look at that, though. That's not how you do it.
No,
Anthony Marzocca. Good job on the save, but bad execution trying to make it happen through the corner. Unfortunately, he's going to lose a couple of places.
His car may be white, but his underwear isn't anymore.
Well and truly. 2.5 seconds to gap as it stands then for Damon Woods out front. He's given up a bit of time. He's just checked it up ever so slightly. He was out to about 2.8 seconds.
Yeah, well, Kalen did set a lap record, or fastest lap last time around.
Look at this. Luke is trying to show us here how much road Damon Woods is using. Now, that is a lot of that exit road that he's maximising the exit of Stavalo. That's a 4-wheel off-track detection, isn't it, Dave? So he doesn't.
I don't know. I'm just looking now. Give me a moment, and I can tell you that Damon Woods only has 8 incidences. So he's got 9 up his sleeve. So he may choose to, and this is a tactical thing, he may choose to use some of those off-tracks deliberately to run it wide, get a little bit quicker run, faster lap time, and use it to break the toe. He'll use up those incident points that he's got in his bag strategically to try and make a break, which is really clever.
Yeah, it's the way you can do it, especially in league racing like this, where incident points don't add to your license, or they don't add or subtract to your license, so you can utilize them as an extra bit of a bargaining chip to try and use in the battle. But watching how good he was through Stavolo then, he is maximizing, and I still think it is a four-wheel detection area on this circuit, so he won't record a penalty or an off-track until he drops that right side tyre into the AstroTurf, and that's how much he is maximizing that, because from the freeze frame that Luke gave us, there was about half an inch in it at a casual 150 k's an hour, just half an inch, just nothing there. As we picked up with Woods making his way through No Name at the left-hander. 3.5 minutes left.
Can we
to
call
go.
it John Doe?
John Doe. Well, doesn't it actually have a name under certain?
I think they tried to give it a name, but it's still known as No Name. I want to call it John Doe.
Oh no, even on the track map I'm looking at, it doesn't have a name. So, thanks to the guys who named Spa, and we'll just call it Turn 11 or No Name. As he
No Name's better than Turn 11. John Doe's good though.
You see again, he uses so much of the racetrack coming out of campus.
As does Alan Chen.
Yeah, well and truly using a lot of the racetrack. Kalen using so much of the track as well. Just like, there's a bit more.
Ewan.
Baker's using a fair bit of the racetrack.
Yeah.
How many incident points has Kalen got?
So Kalen Chin has 7 incident points, and Ewan Baker has 12.
So Ewan's probably starting to stress a little bit about those incident points, but realistically only 2 laps from home of what we left here. He could probably start to breathe a little easier as he's made it this far to the finish, but he's still only really one or two mistakes away from chewing up that buffer that he has of the incident points.
Yeah, incident points are interesting. Like thinking about the Grand Prix on the weekend with all the penalties for off tracks, right? And what did Perez get? He got 3, didn't he? He got 3 5-second penalties?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and when I looked at it, at the end of the race, after the whole 57 laps or whatever it was, Oscar Piastri had 2 off tracks in total.
That's it. Just
that was it. Just 2.
Bit of a moment here as Marzocco runs it too deep at the chicane, and Paul Rogers gets it around the outside to grab the spot from him. So Rogers moving up a spot to position 13, and Damien Cairns feels like capitalising on this now. He looks to the inside, down at La Source, turn 1, turns it in very early, and Marzocco's not going to fight that, as he'll get the advantage of the toe by tucking in behind as they make their way out of Radion and Eau Rouge onto the Kemmel Straight. And here's Rob Bowden, who's found himself back in 6th place over the top of Tom Katsadonis. They've had this healthy little scuffle here for a little while now. See how tight they're running that corner down at turn 10. Very different to what your leaders are doing, running the car out wide and almost diamonding off the center of the corner to try and maximize the exit speed on a low down force configuration. Slide the car through the center of the corner as we go back to Damon Woods, who's making his way through campus down at turns 13 and 14 and down to Stavolo, where he's been so strong here. How much of the road does he use right out? Not actually as much as we saw on previous laps. It's still
he's using everything that's available.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what a good race car driver becomes very, very talented at doing, and very efficiently as well, as he makes his way through Blanchimont on the way down towards turns 19 and 20 at the chicane. I'm still astounded by that 2.5 second margin he has managed to put on over the rest of the field from Kalen Chin and Ewan Baker, 2nd and 3rd. As he comes out of the chicane, running down the final few seconds, he's going to start his final tour of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit here. And he does so with a 2:20.6 that time by as well. He's still absolutely on fire, is Damon Woods. But 7 kilometres from home is Damon Woods. As Barney waves the white flag, one lap to go in the feature race for the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup on Race Stars TV, of course, driven by FRG. And everyone making their way around to start their final lap of this long and high-speed circuit.
Oh, Mazuka running really late there under brakes. These guys are having a fantastic race for 3 between Cairns and Mazuka and Rogers there. Wonderful race. They've had a ball the whole race, been really, really good. And there, unfortunately, Mazuka just ran it a little bit late. I think that's Bailey Evans. I think he has just got a drive-through for incident points, so that's why he's in the pit lane.
And that's going to be painful as well, unfortunately.
He has 19 incident points, so...
Yep, there it is. He's been in the wars tonight.
He's actually got he got a black flag, so...
That'll be him pretty much parked up. He's down in 17th as a result there as well. As Damon Woods comes down towards Pujon. Turn 12 for the final time tonight. And a very healthy margin he's built. 2.7 seconds at this point from Kalen, who's just doing enough to hold on to second from a hard-charging Ewan Baker. Ewan's actually having a solid result. If I just quickly cast back, I think it's Ewan's best night at the races so far. Oh, he claimed 79 points at the first round, so it was probably his best night since then. But on track,
has he been on the podium before in F4? Not sure.
I'm trying to remember. Yes, he was. He was second on the opening night in the feature in this championship. So one of his best nights in the series so far for this young man. Baker, the Kiwi Scotsman, as he makes his way around trying to lock it down for a podium result in the feature tonight. But Damon Woods played his cards beautifully, conserved where he needed to, a beautiful execution in the pit lane, and caps it off to take the win tonight in the feature race for the FIA F4 Esports Cup from Motorsport Australia. Callan Chin comes home in second. Ewan Baker follows him across the line in third. And Jack Mara, the stiff mustard and a slippery hot dog, across the line in P4. Benjamin Roberts still up 5 spots from where he started. That's a great drive from Roberts tonight, the simrigs.com DPR entry. He comes home P5. From his teammate Tom Captain-Otis in P6, Rob Bowden in 7. There's still a battle going on here. Brody Shepherd and Nick Bottrell racing it out for the last spot in the top 10. Oh no, Bottrell! He drops it at the final chicane. That is heartbreak.
Whoops.
Trying to score a top 10. And Brody Shepherd is going to sneak across the line to grab P10. Dawson 11, Bottrell 12 from Mazuka, Cairns and Rogers glued together as they came across the finish line. But how about this young man, Damon Woods? Too good yet again, and another feature race win going his way. Now, I think that actually records 3 different names at the top of all 3 sessions tonight. It was Callan Chin who took qualifying, Jack Mara who took race 1, and Damon Woods who claims the feature race in a single round of racing. There's your official results as they finish here for round 7 of the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 Esports Cup. Dave Roberts, how good is this young man taking the win?
He's had a pretty special season. He's pretty unbeatable in all sorts of things. It was great to see Jack take the first run, but he's pretty hard to beat, isn't he?
He's done an outstanding job over Callan Chin coming home in second. Ewan Baker with a solid result across the line in third. Mara ending up P4 from Benny Roberts. That was your top 5, the way they ran that one out. Looking there, Bailey Evans ending up P18 after. There was a moment in time in the race where Bailey Evans was actually, I think he was knocking on the door of a top 5 run, probably a little bit out of sync from the pit stops at that time before it all kind of unraveled for Bailey. He found himself getting beaten from pillar to post with other cars on the racetrack. That's a look at how it all wraps up tonight from your feature race. We're going to wait for just a moment and get the last of our drivers to join us in the green room to have a chat as we've got Ewan, we've got Damon here, just waiting on Callan Chin to join us as Kayla now jumps in to the broadcast studio. That'll be all of them through. We'll start with your winner tonight, Damon Woods. Congratulations. A textbook execution on track.
Yeah, I did not expect to be able to come out the pits in front of the entire field there, so I was quite lucky that I think Kalen made a mistake in the pits, and I had enough of a gap over Ewan that he wasn't going to be able to get close to me, and obviously I think Jack overfueled a little bit, so yeah, he dropped off the pack as well. But yeah, it was quite a surprise, so yeah, once that happened I just had to put my head down and put in some mega laps, and that's what I did, and I was able to come away with the win.
What's the strategy in a race like this? You knew, well, we all knew full well coming into tonight that it was going to be all about the toe on those long straights. Was the name of the game just kind of being a little bit patient with your moves and just waiting until later in the race, especially around that pit stop, to try and make a run for it then?
In the first couple laps, I was on hard fuel save, so it was clutching in the braking zone to try and maximize how much fuel I was saving. And then, yeah, once we got closer to that pit window, Kaylin and I decided to try and get to the front and control the race. And yeah, we did that. And yeah, unfortunately for him, I think the pit stop didn't go quite to plan.
No, still a very solid execution. That pit stop as well. You were one of, if not the quickest in your pit transit time. What's the key there? Just maximizing kind of the entry and the exit coming into the lane?
Yeah, a bit of commitment on the pit entry was, I think, key in that, and then yeah, getting the drop off the jacks and getting going was definitely a part of that as well. So if you can maximize those bits, it's 2 seconds that you can gain in the pits rather than having to do it on the track.
Yeah, and 2 seconds is invaluable here, as you ended up winning tonight's feature race by, what was it, 2.8 almost at the line, as we're just getting a bit of a replay action about your pit entry there. We'll just watch this one on your pit entry and see how well executed it was. Obviously, it was the best of the field because you had the quickest pit transit time, but it didn't look all too special. Just maximizing the use of the road, get it on limiter at the last possible second so you don't get that pit lane speeding infringement.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to use all the road. I think it's just trying to carry as much speed to the line as possible and try and leave your braking to the latest point possible. So that's what I did, and was able just to get it just under the speed limit before we got to the cones. But I mean, you don't have to do all crazy locked up to try and maximize the pit entry. You can just carry as much speed as you can, and it's going to give you the same result.
Well, absolutely fair enough. Dave Roberts, anything to add for our race winner tonight?
No, not really. Just again, another very well calculated, cool, calm, and collected win. Well done, Damon.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Well then, Dave, I'll leave you with runner-up tonight, Kaylin Chin.
So, Kaylin, as Damon mentioned, just a little bit of a bobble somewhere in pit lane gave him enough of a break that he couldn't get it back.
Yeah, I kind of overshot my pit box. Let go of the brake a little bit, and
did you have to?
I've done it. Yeah, I had to.
Did you have to reverse?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So that cost me.
Oh dear.
The time where I lost, and then the outlap, where I lost even more time. I almost spun it before the back straight.
Oh dear. That was a bit of a shocker. Oh well, we all make mistakes, but it shows you how much difference a tiny mistake can make, doesn't it?
Yeah, as soon as you're out of the toe, you're kind of a sitting duck, and you can't really catch up or pull away. So, all credit goes to Damon. You know, he made pretty much 0 mistakes and won it. So,
yeah, but you'd still be pretty happy with second, and you got to knock him off again soon, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a fun race. I mean, he's still leading the championship by a lot after me missing 2 rounds, but we'll see. Just to have fun and enjoy racing with everyone else.
So next time out, we're at Jerez. Is that somewhere you like?
Jerez isn't really a track which I've driven much. I've actually only bought the track a couple months ago, and that was the first time driving it. So we'll see how racing in the F4 is. I'm sure it'll be fun, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but
all right.
Yeah,
it's new to everybody. It's new to everybody because it's only a recent addition to the iRacing schedule. So, but it should be good. It's lots of fast corners, and it should be very similar to tonight. A place you really need to sit in that toe and get it right. And you're going to go and practice your pit stops, aren't you?
Yeah, it's not the first time in racing which I've messed the pit stop up, but
all right. Well, excellent drive tonight. Really, really well done. Taking it to Damon. Great to see. And mate, it wasn't a bad night at all. second in the features. Fantastic result. So well done.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll now go to third place, Ewan Baker tonight on one of your best nights in the series, Ewan. That's a pretty stout result, third on the podium tonight.
Yeah, it's been good. Bit of a return to form because I had a really good round, first round at Laguna Seca, and then it's just been a bit of a nightmare since. Felt like I've had the pace every round, at least sort of top 5, sort of top 10 at worst, but I've always got such bad luck. So it's nice to turn things around a bit tonight.
It's a solid result, mate. You look like you're running a very patient race in those early stages, just tagging on the back of that lead group, just sitting back there in P4. Was that your strategy, just waiting for the race to kind of come your way over the course of the 45-minute distance?
Yeah, pretty much. So, I know the speed that Damon and Kalen have is just immense, so I knew they were going to drag away at the front of the field. And my thoughts were just to sort of hang in there, be patient, hopefully break away from the pack behind. I could see, I think it was some of the teammates working together, so 5th, 6th and 7th, leapfrogging and trying to catch up. So I was very conscious of keeping the gap to them, because, less cars you have to think about, the better, especially on a slipstream track like this. And yeah, I figured just keep it together, trying to keep some off tracks towards the end of the race, and sort of play my cards after the pit stop.
It looks like it all paid off, and one of the best outcomes that it could, really. Third place tonight. Who do you have to thank for getting you here to this position?
Big thank you to Kiwi Sim Racing and Speed Nation, Inspire.net and Scott Technology for their long-term support to me. So yeah, big thanks, guys.
Well done, mate. Once again, we'll see you at the next round when we go to Jerez.
Yeah, hopefully podium again. Keep the momentum rolling.
Looking forward
Better
to
than the
it.
podium.
Yeah, when. I do like Jerez, so we'll see.
Oh, there we go. We'll see you next time. We'll go to second place then, Khaled Shin. Who do you have to thank tonight?
Of course, I have to thank my family, my father especially, who's watching the stream right now. I have to thank Damon for an incredible race in both the sprint and the feature. And I have to thank everyone hosting this event for hosting such a wonderful event for us to race in. And yeah.
Great stuff, mate. And to your feature race winner, another one in the books for Damon Woods. Who do you have to thank, mate?
As always, I've got to thank the boys at Door Esports, VRS, Recaro, JBL, Tailored Rig, Arima Sportswear, SX Group, and also wishing a happy birthday to my dad as well. And big thanks to the FRG boys for always putting on stellar events. That's the way. Well, thank you to you three. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next F4 round, which is in a fair few weeks' time. It's not until, late November, Dave. We go for round 8 of the Motorsports Australia FIA F4 E-Series. Round 8 from Jerez. What is it? November 21. Tuesday, November 21. Yeah. So we've got a fair amount of time.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap. We've got a couple of Formula Ford races, and we've got S5000 again next weekend, I think. At S5000. Where's S5000 next weekend? It is at. We'll tell you in a second. It is at Magny-Cours.
Oh, Circuit Magny-Cours. That is going to be an exciting track. That final chicane in an S5000, that is going to be a bit of a car monster, I'm sure. So you can see us same time, same place, same channel, same commentators, it looks like, as well. Next Tuesday night, we'll be going to the Racecraft S5000 series from Magny-Cours live on Race Stars TV. If you'd like to get involved and with anything that FRG are running, they've still got open grid slots in the Formula Ford Championship, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Their next round, that's in 2 weeks on October 24. So you can stay in touch, find FRG online, join the Discord, and join in all the fun. Until next week, Dave, I'll see you then.
Cheers.